Welcome back, YouTubers. I today we're having surgery for my grandson, and I'm not back in at home. But God's been uh, showing me, and I've been hesitant to make these videos, but I got to make them. There's two videos and it's not to hurt anybody or anything like that, but it's just to show truth and why we need to um, go back to worshiping God the Father. But today we're going to look into Islam, what Genesis says about Islam. And it goes like this. Chapter 16, verse 7 through 12. And the angel of the Lord. Now, the angel of the Lord in Old Testament is God the Son. And they call him God. And it's reference to the angel of the Lord, but they call him God. And and Lord, he is God the Son. So it's just to clarify that. Okay? And the angel of the and what's happening here is that Abraham's wife Sarah got mad with his maidservant, and the reason was because God promised Sarah or Abraham that he would have children, a boy, a son. The promise was that he was going to be blessed with nations and kings and stuff like that. And Sarah, she was old. She was in her 90s, and she said she felt like she was too old. And so what she did upon herself was that she got her maidservant and allowed her to have a sexual relationship or get pregnant from Abraham, so that the promises could come true, that he could have a son, a descendants. But God has his own plan. God doesn't necessarily, we as people cannot force God's hand, and this is how it went. Okay, so when the angel of the Lord saw that Hagar was pregnant, but also the angel of the Lord promised Abraham that his seed through his wife would be blessed. And let's look into this. In verse 7, chapter 16 of Genesis, and the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's wife, where camest thou? And where wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, submit thyself to her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, and it shall not be numbered for a multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, that she was pregnant, and thou shalt bear a son, and his name, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard thy affliction. He will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. To this day, the descendants of Ishmael The Muslims, those are the descendants of Ishmael, continued to fight and kill his brothers, because Isaac is his brother. And we're going to show that the promises were not with the firstborn Ishmael, but with Isaac. And that because the promises were with Isaac, the descendants of Ishmael are like Cain and Abel. Cain thought that if he would kill Abel, then God would show favor to him, but God didn't. And to this day, the Muslims want to do, well, they want to kill off Israel so that they could be the people that God would favor. But God has spread his people all over the earth, and that's probably going to be impossible. So, we go on. And in chapter 17, verse 18 through 21, and Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee, and set time next year. That means that Isaac would be born the following year. So Ishmael are the Muslims, and the Muslims, the very last religion to be to come to be is Islam. And the Muslims believe that they are the chosen religion, and that they are the chosen people. But clearly, the Quran also has the Torah, and we were just reading from Genesis, which is in the Torah, and they have this information, and if they look at it, they could see that God's promises, the covenant and promises, were not with Ishmael. They were with Isaac. The true religion would be through Isaac. The Muslims have accepted Islam, and they believe it to be the correct worship. But how can you be of the correct worship if you do not follow the worship procedures of Abraham? If you have accepted to follow Abraham, or so you think, and you do not worship on the same way, the same day, and God has clearly said that his covenant was not with them, then Islam cannot be the true worship. So today, repent. Follow the commandments of God. Remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Shalom.